Hi guys.
Welcome.
So we are going to do a review of our most recent trip that we took to New Mexico, Colorado, Moab. My biggest thing that I suggest, skip New Mexico. Don't even bother.
Somehow drive over that state is what she's saying.
Drive around.
No, but
or just don't stop.
In all seriousness, no, it was a really fun trip. For those of you who are new, we just went on a trip, so check out our videos. I'll link them above. But we went to New Mexico, stayed a night there, went to Durango, Colorado, and then we went to Moab, and then we drove all the way back to Austin. Had a great time. Tested out our brand new 2017 4Runner, which I'll link up here also. That was a lot of fun. Great rig. We'll go into a little bit more detail on that in a minute. But a couple of you guys asked to give feedback on the trip, what would have changed, what would have done differently, and just kind of review. We're reviewing the products that we bought specifically for the trip and using them. But I just wanted to give you some feedback on the trip and what we would have changed or done differently or what we really enjoyed. Let's start with New Mexico. We stayed at, where did we stay?
KOA in Carlsbad.
Carlsbad, yep. We didn't really get to go around in Carlsbad, so I don't really have anything to say about Carlsbad.
And then we left at like 4:30 a.m.
Yeah.
But we got there, the weather was really bad, and one of the first things that they said to us, watch for rattlesnakes.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'm not going to sleep tonight because I'm scared that they're nesting in our cabin.
We stayed at a cabin at the KOA. That was really cool. We'd never done that before. The weather was so
bad, we didn't really...
Yeah, so, and they didn't have pool and campsites. So if I could have planned that differently, I would have found a place that you could pull in with your campsites because we wanted to live out of our rig a bit more for this trip. So that pretty much sums up New Mexico, unless you have anything else to say about that.
No, and then we went to Durango, which is really nice. It's such a cute little town if you've never been there.
What a cool city.
It's got so much charm, so much to do. There's like a little old-time square, a lot to do. But we went straight up into the mountains, and it was nice and cool, and they also warned us about bears, like right away. So
yeah, we stayed at Grand Junction campsite, which was great. I highly recommend that. It's really low-key,
really nice,
very inexpensive, and everything's spaced out, so you're just in the woods, and it's cheap. You can pull up to your campsite, and it's awesome. So I highly recommend that.
We slept in our 4Runner that night. It's very uncomfortable.
It wasn't too bad.
I didn't sleep.
It was just because there's, and that goes into reviewing of the 4Runner, but basically it goes flat, and then there's a little transition, and then it goes up. So to fix that, sleeping in the rig, we would have definitely got an inflatable mattress style or some sort of padding that would have covered it. We brought some like yoga mats just to kind of add some cushioning, but that didn't work. So you need something thicker.
Well, it's like right at your rib where it bends, so it's like cutting into your ribs as you're trying to sleep, and it's just not comfortable. He can sleep through anything. He slept the whole night.
So that would be. Campsite was great. The rig, we realized that we need a better sleeping pad of some sort or something raised to just kind of keep it level. But other than that, sleeping in the rig was great overall. I like that the back hatch comes up, the back window goes down, so that part's really cool. Colorado Trail?
The Colorado Trail was beautiful. We only saw one camping site, and that was...
We think.
It was disgusting.
We think we went to the right campsite on segment 28. But
I wish we had more time to actually do the Colorado Trail and to actually camp on the trail. But the weather wasn't very good. It was rainy.
We'll do it again. We'll do more of that, absolutely.
Yeah.
On another trip. But the trail was great. The segment was great. The scenery was great. And we're not trying to be sticklers about, oh, the campsite wasn't great. What we wanted to do was have that outdoor experience. So we were expecting like a campsite with like a view or something, and the campsite we went to was like just like tucked in there, and it wasn't scenic or anything. So if it had been an open campsite or something like that, it would have been awesome. So that was kind of our only complaint. Everything else was just awesome. It was very scenic and everything.
It was beautiful.
Really cool.
There was like a creek that ran basically along with us the whole time.
A bunch of super friendly people there too. So everyone was really cool. Mountain bikers, hikers, everything. Runners. People running like 10 miles on the trail. It was awesome. Then from there we stayed at the Durango KOA, which we've already raved about. I mean, if you have to stay in Durango, if you don't want to stay in a hotel, go rent a cabin at the Durango KOA. It's under $200. If you get one with their bathroom and everything, it's like completely furnished, beautiful, and you're in a awesome. So check that out if you're in Durango and you need a place to stay and you don't want to stay in a hotel. Under $200, like I said, great location and everything. From there we went to Moab. and we went and hopped on Hell's Revenge. Great trail. The 4Runner did amazing. If you haven't watched that video, check that out too. I was really impressed with that. Shay did a great job spotting. Fun trail. We look forward to do a lot more trails there. Fins and Thing is supposed to be easier, just a lot more, just a couple humps like you're going over a dinosaur's back, but really cool trail. We look forward to a lot more trails and going back and wheeling more in Moab. That was like a box checked, even though it was like a small box of the big box. It was
Well, it's one of the more
doing.
popular trails, so it's a big box check.
Yeah, it was a
good one.
great experience.
That's good.
We also tent camped there. Our tent did amazing. It didn't vent as well, but I'm going to do a full review on the tent.
So hot.
So we'll save that for in detail. But I do give the Half Dome 2 Plus that you can get at REI a great review. Great quality tent, pretty lightweight, and I'll go into more details in that one.
Well, the only bad thing about the tent is that if you want it to ventilate, I guess that would be the right word, you have to take out the whole cover, and then people could just walk up and watch you sleep, and I'm not okay with that whatsoever because it's sheer.
And we'll do a full review on the tent.
Sorry.
So no worries. Tent camped, it was hot too, so that was kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. I mean, when you're camping, you're just out in the elements, so we're pretty tough, so no big deal.
Amazing ice cream in Moab. Go to the Moab Diner.
Yep.
They have good burgers too.
She's skipping ahead.
I'm sorry.
The next day we went hiking at Arches National Park, where we ended up wheeling a bit too. We ended up on some off-road trail, which was a lot of fun, but we didn't A, bring enough gas, which was all my fault, and B, we wanted to be hiking more than we were wheeling that day, so we kind of bounced off that trail as soon as we could and went to hiking. Bring water. Arches is a great park. A lot of hiking you could do.
Bring snacks.
Go out in the desert. There's places where you can get away from tourists in the back of the park if you don't want to be with a bunch of people, and places where you can just hop out your car, look at something, and hop back in. So a little bit of everything for everyone. Just bring water, bring snacks, and hike. If you've hiked before, then obviously you know what level you're at, but just hike to your level and just do that. Let's see. We stayed at the KOA again that night. There's tons of places to camp, so if you want to do primitive camping up to like staying in a house, there's tons of places. So if you need help with that, just let me know. We didn't know anything going in, and we were kind of worried about that because we didn't want to get stuck somewhere and not have a place to stay. But it turns out we could have camped basically anywhere we wanted. It was a lot of good opportunities there.
We've gotten stranded before.
Yeah, so we didn't want to get ourselves in that situation, but perfect, great place for camping. Primitive as much as you want. We'll do it a lot differently next time, and that was kind of the whole goal of learning from this trip. The next day we went to Ken's Lake, stand-up paddleboarded there. Ken's Lake is about as small as a lake can be defined as a lake, but it is very refreshing to go to a lake after being in the desert all week.
Barely bigger than the size of a football field.
Yeah, it's a half mile across. But we rented some paddle boards. I think it was like $40 a day. Great, well worth doing. A lot of fun. I paddled her around for a couple hours. You know, she paddled. We had a really good time. Plus, the water was really cool even for being July. So great.
It was really clear too.
Yeah, awesome. Really cool place. I highly recommend that too if you want a day to cool off. There was also a dirt bike track right next door, so it wasn't open, but
it was sketchy though.
Yeah, if you're into riding, there are places. Well, as you know, Moab, you can ride a bajillion places. And then from there, we left and came back the next day. So it was about a 7-day trip, and went from there. We'll do a full review on the rig too. But was there anything you were happy with or disappointed with the rig?
It has some overhang in the back, and it gets caught on stuff.
Oh, you talking about off-roading wise?
I thought that's what you were talking about.
I'm just in general, like about our use from beginning to end.
No, that's my thing. I'm used to having a Jeep, and there's no lip.
There's a little bit more clearance on a Jeep in the front and the back. That's true. In a stock configuration, we would have rubbed quite a bit too. We would have beat up our bumpers just as much, I think.
Yeah, but the bumpers on a Jeep, you can get another one for free from someone who's replacing their
That's
bumper.
true. We got like 4 in the attic.
Exactly.
So
you can't just replace this Toyota bumper.
Yeah, not for cheap. That's for sure.
So.
My quick review on that, outside of a full review, is extremely comfortable for the drive. I mean, just amazing to ride in. Extremely comfort. I'll do a review on the tires in a minute in another video. but extremely comfortable. It did everything we wanted it to. The locker was great to have. It saved our ass at least twice in situations where we would have been stuck. It off-roaded really well. It did have some clearance issues, but we knew that going in. That's why we left the Nerf bars on there, so we could bash them up and not the body. And then gas mileage was pretty good, better than the Jeep on 35s, that's
about
for sure.
18 miles.
Yeah, so I mean, we did really well with that too. Comfort, like everything lit up well. The configuration of it was perfect. I mean, we fit everything in there exactly how we wanted to. The only complaint we had was the back part didn't lay completely flat like a JKU does. The JKU, when you lay it on the back seat, is completely flat versus this, which had a little hump. That was my only complaint about the rig. Absolutely. Everything else was amazing to have. The sunroof paid for itself. Glad we had that. And overall, great rig.
It's very comfortable.
Very, very happy with our purchase.
Very comfortable.
Not saying I wouldn't have been happy in a Rubicon, but for what we got this for and everything, I was very, very happy with it. I love this rig. Even more now. And I'll do a full review for you. That's pretty much it. That's kind of a cut and dry version. If you have any more specific questions, let us know. I think we would have skipped Carlsbad as far as places where we stayed. We would have probably skipped Carlsbad. We would have camped out a little bit more in the middle of nowhere. A lot of people say it depends on where you're from, and we just didn't feel comfortable just being out with just us two in the middle of nowhere at the time.
If we were with a group, like whenever we went to Colorado a couple years ago, we camped out with a group of people, and you just feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
And we camped out on the side of a road.
Yeah.
So.
And I know it's probably completely safe, and you just be cognizant and stuff like that. But obviously, being from Moore City and stuff, we just have a different mindset, and we just need to learn how to relax a little bit more. So we'll do it next time for sure. We will make that happen, whether we just sleep in the rig or whatever. We're gonna do it. And so places we stayed, that's the only thing I would change. Rig, everything worked perfectly. I wouldn't change anything about that except for a little bit more padding. We probably wouldn't have stayed in Carlsbad, but everywhere else we would have stayed. And then as far as the places we went to, it was spaced out perfectly where we could do a physical activity for most of the day and then had time to relax. And so we still had plenty of time in between of things. If we'd had to do like Hell's Revenge and then Arches in the same day, it would have been just miserable.
Exhausting.
Because you're just, for the time of the year that we went anyway. So all that was spaced out really well for being the summer. And we had plenty of stuff. All of our supplies worked out really well. I'm going to do individual reviews on everything. Also, if you saw my Yeti video, I have contacted them and they've given me some pointers and given me a new seal. So I'm going to do a new test and review on that also to give them a more fair rating. Because maybe something was wrong and it was probably on my part. So other than that, that's what I got.
I give the trip out of 10, I give it 8.5.
8.5? Yeah, I solid 8 for me also. 8-ish, 8 or 9. So, yeah, it was great. Very inexpensive because we kept it to minimum. We used our own food. We didn't go out to eat very much. We could have made it a lot less even by camping out in the middle of nowhere, but choosing to camp in the locations we did made it cost a little bit more. Alright, that's like 13 minutes of talking, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know some of you guys requested that. If you have any questions, anything, let us know, and we'll do more reviews and whatnot coming soon. So thanks again, and we have big things coming in the next year or so. So follow along with us. Thank you guys for supporting us. Thank you for subscribing. People who've stuck around, thank you. People who are worried about Jeeps, I'm keeping the Jeep Noob name. It's like basically a trademark to this channel now, and we will get Jeeps again. How soon? Depends on how this JL model turns out. That's what I'm kind of waiting for, and what she lets me put in the garage or not. So if the JL comes out with a certain version, be prepared. That's what we're waiting out for. So stand by and see what happens with that.
Don't listen to him.
We're going off-roading soon, so we'll see you on the flip side. We'll see you on the flip side, but we'll see you off-road very soon.
See you on the flip side.
Alright guys, thanks again. If you like this, like it. If you don't
like it, give it a thumbs down because you're always going to anyway.
Yeah, and tell me why.
Haters.
Little bitches.
No, they always tell you why and I'm sorry. Edit that out.
Okay. Alright guys, see you later.